Hey guys, what's going on? Hey, it's Stubbs121. We are here for our first episode back into the news breakdown, and I'm super excited to bring this to you guys. I know it's been quite a while since we've actually put out one of these videos, and I am really truly sorry that we actually haven't put out one for quite some time. In a previous video, I had stated how we want to get back into this, how we wanted to kind of keep moving forward with a lot of these news breakdown episodes, because I really enjoy bringing this content to you guys. It allows me to kind of be a little bit loose, be a little bit freestyle when it comes to what we're talking about, but also have a script in front of me that I can kind of keep things, in tune and keep things kind of moving forward as well too. Before we begin though, guys, if you do like what you see, please don't forget to hit that sub button, that like button, and that bell button to be notified of any new videos that are coming out, because we really appreciate it. We really do. We really value you guys being here, and we really hope that we continue to give you guys great content like this. And if you guys want to see great content like this, please don't forget to head over to our YouTube channel, and then you guys can get more content like this, as well as gameplays, reviews, things like that as well too. So yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. We are going to try to keep our honest promise to keep moving forward with these episodes and just try to keep putting them out as often as we can as well too. And any other breaking news that does come forth that we really think that you guys should know more about. But let's get underway. Let's get going with our first topic, because we have three really great topics that we think that you guys should know about, a little bit more information as well too. And we'll have all of our sources down below if you guys want to check out more information about each of the different stories that we're going to cover here today. Let's get underway with our first topic. Here we go. Okay, so first up on our list, we're actually talking about PlayStation 5, and in regards to the overall consoles that have been sold since its lifetime. Now, it actually surpassed, per the report coming from PlayStation, it actually surpassed 40 million consoles sold, which is huge. I mean, that is a huge, milestone for them. And it begs the question if the actual console war is still present between Sony and Xbox. Now, during COVID and during a lot of the lockdown area and stuff like that, there was a high demand for both Xbox and Sony PlayStation 5s as well too. And so people really had a hard time. You also saw a lot of gouging. You saw a lot of, like I said, price gouging, where people would buy them and they would sell them for like twice, 3 times the amount that were actually being sold, because it was such high demand and such little inventory that we were seeing. Now, during that time frame, consoles were still being sold, not as much, but they were certainly still being sold. And as of right now, as of the point that we're talking about right now when this video is being recorded, which is July 2023, there have been 40 million units sold per PlayStation, which is really great. I mean, like I said, that's a huge milestone to hit. Now, Game Informer reports that in 5 months, Sony reported that they shipped 32 million units in the PS5's lifetime, and that was actually put out to the public to be bought and to be used in November of 2020. Which means in that 5-month span from February to this point now in July, Sony has sold more than 8 million more units, which is absolutely massive. 8 million units sold in just a 5-month period is absolutely crazy. Now, one of the big reasons why that is, and possibly its biggest push, is because of God of War Ragnarok being released, and that was highly reviewed. It's an amazing game. Like, we played it here as well too, and you guys can check out the entire gameplay up above if you guys want to see it. But it's an amazing and fantastic game, and it certainly could have been a big reason why the push was so strong in that 5-month period, that 8 million units being sold. But since that, we actually haven't seen a whole lot from Sony. It's been kind of quiet on their end, with only releasing very little, first party titles, such as Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores DLC and MLB The Show 23. So it's really hard to exactly pinpoint why that 8 million units were sold in that 5-month period, but Sony is possibly attributing it to the sell of God of War Ragnarok, which, again, it's an amazing and fantastic game, so there's no doubt that it is a big push and a big reason why. Another possible reason as well too is that the recent release of Final Fantasy 16. Now, Final Fantasy is not a first-party title such as like God of War is, but it was primarily put out specifically on PlayStation 5, and that certainly could be a big reason why the push was so hard in this recent time frame, because it just came out. I think it just came out within like the past month or so. So that definitely could be a reason why we've seen that time period, that 5-month time period, have such a drastic increase in units sold. With the overall success that Final Fantasy 15 had, and then the success that Final Fantasy Final Fantasy 16 is showing currently, it can definitely be another reason why it is being pushed so hard for more sales. Not only that though, but Sony is actually going to be putting out their special edition Marvel's Spider-Man 2 console version, and that may actually see a significant increase in units sold as well too, because Marvel's Spider-Man is an absolutely fantastic game. It really is, and even the DLC is fantastic as well too. And now with Spider-Man 2, which is going to incorporate Miles Morales, but it's also going to incorporate Venom as well too, that may be another significant push that once that console is released along with Marvel Spider-Man 2, that may help to kind of push even more past just that 8 million units sold in that 5-month period. We may end up seeing 9 million, 10 million in very, very soon future as well too. Now, SCI President and CEO Jim Ryan states, "We launched PlayStation 5 in November of 2020, and the world was in a strange and different place that when we announced the console in 2019. Despite the unprecedented challenges of COVID, our team and our partners worked diligently to deliver PS5 on time. We continued to face headwinds with the pandemic, and it took months for supply chains to normalize so that we could have the inventory to keep up with the demand. For more months than I care to remember, we kept thanking our community for their patience while working through these issues. But now PS5 supply is well stocked, and we are seeing that pent-up demand finally being met. With the support of PlayStation fans, we have reached a milestone of 40 million PS5 consoles sold through to gamers since launch, as of the week ending July 16, 2023. Thank you so much to our community of gamers. Without you, this would have been an impossible task." Now again, I go back to the idea, is there a console war that's actually going on still between Xbox and PS5? Because when we actually look at the Xbox numbers being sold since its lifetime, which it was actually put out just right around the same time that the PS5 was put out, they've only sold 21 million units. I mean, that pales in comparison when Sony's putting out potentially more than double their units coming up very, very shortly. Now, we have these two consoles, but when we look at the actual Switch, which has actually been put out since 2017, they've actually sold 125.62 million units sold. But again, they have a 3-year head start on the overall units being sold. But in the Switch is such a great console. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic console as well too. And hopefully we get some news if there's going to be a Switch 2 or whatever the next story is when it comes to Nintendo's consoles, because we've had the Nintendo Switch for 6 years and it feels like it's getting a little bit slow. That's another story for another day, guys. But again, like I said, can Xbox even keep up with Sony PlayStation? Like, I don't even know, because it seems like that they're just not having enough either first-party titles. They're just not able to have the same marketing value, because the overall demand for PlayStation 5 is so much higher than it is for Xbox S and X as well too. And it's pretty evident from the overall units being sold that people are more fond, they're more wanting of a PS5. And to be honest, I love my PS5. It's an amazing console, and it plays and it runs super smooth, and it's just a whole hell of a lot of fun to play. With that being said though, a big reason why the Xbox may not have as many units being sold is because they also do offer Xbox Game Pass on the PC, where a lot of games that are first day releases for the Xbox are also first day releases for PC as well too. So people may not really be pushing as hard for wanting a an Xbox X or S, because they have the capabilities with their PC. So there is the possible issues regarding that, and Microsoft does understand that, and they do realize that they may never actually hit the same level that PS5 is going to hit. But let me know your thoughts down below. Do you own a PS5? Do you own an Xbox X or S? And if you own both, do you prefer one or the other? Do you play more of one than the other? Let me know your thoughts down below. Okay, so next up on our list, we are actually talking about Activision Blizzard. And as you guys know from previous episode, Activision Blizzard we have covered many times on this channel in regards to Diablo 4 being delayed at the time of that video that we put out, to the multiple sexual harassment claims and allegations throughout the entire community at Activision Blizzard. We actually delved into it pretty heavy. We actually put out, I think, almost like an hour-long video discussing the different things that had taken place during that. But unfortunately, it still seems like things are not great when it comes to Activision Blizzard as far as the community goes. It was reported by Game Informer that 50 employees have been laid off, originally reported from The Verge, the first ones to actually report it. This news was reported at the same time as the release of Activision Blizzard's fiscal year 2023 Q2 results, which gave investors a certain sense of uncertainty because the overall, quality of that financial quarter. Now, the Q2 year over year, which basically sees, the Q2 of 2022 versus the Q2 of 2023. So again, year over year in that sense, actually had shown a 50% increase from 1.64 to 2.46 billion. Due to possibly the massive Diablo 4 launch, an increase in revenue from various franchises, mobile growth, and more. So it begs the question, are investors really concerned because they've had such a significant year over year profit that we've actually seen, or is there other things behind the scenes that we are just not seeing that they are a little bit shaky on as far as the overall quality of what's going on at Activision Blizzard? So with that being said, you're probably asking yourself, why did they lay off 50 employees if the year over year was so well? I mean, it definitely does bring up questions. Again, why are they laying off 50 employees if things are going so well? Now, unfortunately, these 50 employees are being laid off in reference to the esports department at Activision Blizzard. One person laid off told the publication that this round of layoffs seems like a significant gutting of Activision Blizzard esports, while another told it there was no warning, this was a complete shock to everyone, and none of us who were laid off were offered any opportunity to switch roles or teams. Now, with these layoffs hitting the esports department and the Overwatch 2023 season unknown if it's even going to move forward, if not, because of all the issues that they've been having as regards to teams wanting to buy out, if there's any desire for teams to even occurring. It really feels like the esports team and the esports itself at Activision Blizzard are non-existent, to be honest. Possibly the only game that, if I can remember, that they're still kind of playing is StarCraft 2, because I'm pretty sure they killed Heroes of the Storm, and it looks like they're in the middle of killing Overwatch 2, especially with how badly the Overwatch 2 response is since it was put out, and I'm fairly certain that you can't actually play Overwatch 1 anymore. Now you have to actually just play Overwatch 2. So it really has been a really rough time as far as Overwatch goes, but then now with all these in regards to the esports department and the Overwatch 2023 league possibly not even happening, it just seems like things are cascading significantly for Activision Blizzard. Now, Senior Director Brad Crawford, the esports, like I said, Senior Director of Global Communications, states to Game Informer, "We remain committed to the future of esports, and we regularly assess how our staff aligns with our business goals to ensure we can evolve with changing trends and best deliver for our teams, players, and fans. As always, supporting our employees through transition is our top priority." Again, why are they gutting the 50 employees from the esports department, and as well too not even potentially asking them to switch to other roles if their financial profit has been so large year over year? I mean, we know that companies will put profits over people any day of the year, as we are seeing significant profits from numerous other companies not related to gaming and not related to esports, and yet we're still seeing significant inflation. We're still seeing no pay raises, things like that. I mean, is there going to become a point where people just can't live anymore because of these reasons? And then don't even get me started when it comes to potential for AI, when that is now evolving so significant and so rapidly, especially with the writer's strike that's going on at the time of this recording. I mean, it's a really, really tough time, and the potential for more layoffs is consistently there, it feels like. The gaming industry definitely feels like such a scary industry to be part of, and it feels like there's really never any job security at times, because one minute you can have such an amazing game like all the Witchers, which we're actually going to talk about in our next topic. You can have such an amazing series like the Witchers, and then all of a sudden pull out Cyberpunk 2077 and it's absolute garbage, and then it makes you feel like, we put out such an amazing game and then we just put out a tank of a game. Are they going to wipe house when it comes to overall development? That's why it feels like the gaming development and the gaming, developers, coders, all that sort of stuff is such a risky business to get into, it feels like. I don't know, but hopefully we can see some sort of a bright side here at some point, but I'm not really holding my breath, and I hope you guys aren't either, guys. And finally, guys, we have our last topic of the day, and unfortunately, it revolves around even more layoffs with a different gaming company. Now, we're specifically talking about CD Projekt Red, the creators of the Witcher series, like I had mentioned previously, and Cyberpunk 2077. Now, they have actually announced that they're going to release 10%, they're going to let go of 10% of their workforce, citing overstaffing. With around 100 staff being let go due to overstaffing, the producers of such titles as The Witcher and Cyberpunk is making this change to have more alignment of the scale and size of the team with the requirements of ongoing projects and the CD Projekt Group strategy. Now, these layoffs are very interesting because they just recently put out several titles that they are actually working on, from a new Witcher trilogy that we're seeing, a potential new Witcher multiplayer game, a Cyberpunk sequel called Project Orion, and then a remake of the original Witcher game as well too. So it feels strange why they're actually laying off another 100 people in regards when they have so many titles that they're actually working on. Now, these layoffs are happening particularly in development, publishing, and back office teams and are expected to run through 2023 and end roughly at the first quarter of 2024. Now, like I said, you're probably thinking to yourself, like, they have so many of these titles that are going to be put out very shortly. Like, why are they doing this? And they don't really give an exact reason why they're specifically doing this, but Adam, oh boy, I'm going to butcher this last name, I do apologize, Kinsiki, commented saying, the decision is related to the continuing transformation as part of which the CD Projekt Red studio has managed to, among others, incorporate agile methodologies while reshaping development processes and optimizing working arrangements, the company said in a statement. This change in approach, along with efforts to build more effective project teams, represents a continuation of an ongoing transformation within the company regards as key to making top quality games published on schedule and developed without under crunch. My apologies. We've carefully assessed all teams in the company in terms of their expected contribution to the delivery of our strategy, Kinsiak said. There's no easy way to say this, but today we are overstaffed. We have talented people on board who are finishing their tasks, and based on current and expected projects needs, we already know we don't have other opportunities for them in the next year. And like I mentioned, they actually have several new titles coming out. Like I said, they have the new DLC Cyberpunk 2077 coming out very shortly. They have the remake of the first Witcher game, which is really exciting because that was such a fun game to play when I was a lot younger, called Project Hadar. A Cyberpunk sequel, like I said, called Project Orion, the new Witcher trilogy in a completely new universe, new world, and then the first multiplayer Witcher title. So it really questions like why they're laying off so much, 10%, 100 people, when they have so many of these different titles that are going to be putting out. Now, unfortunately, this does actually then follow up because the announcement was later followed up by the Molasses Flood, which is another gaming development that CD Projekt Red owns, also citing layoffs in May with 29 members being let go as well too. Now, they are a very successful company. They put out such amazing and great titles, and I know Cyberpunk was not the greatest title when they put it out, and they did receive a lot of backlash for the overall quality of what was put out. But it seems like they've done pretty good justice as far as working on the continuous bugs, trying to make it a good game for people to play. Granted, it may be a year, 2 years later that we can actually finally play this game without as many bugs. And hopefully the DLC is great too, and people play that, and who knows? I mean, it's really tough to say. I do hope that those that were laid off specifically in those different departments, as well as with Activision Blizzard, were able to find job opportunities right away or in the process of finding job opportunities as well. Because I know with this field being ever changing, it is hard to find positions, especially with the world always changing as well too. So I really hope that they were able to find positions quickly and move forward with their lives and hopefully be successful in their new opportunities as well too. So with that being said, guys, thank you guys so much for being here. We have just wrapped up our first back to the news breakdown, and I'm super excited to bring this to you guys. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it as well too. If you guys want more information about each of the different topics that we did cover, all the sources are down below, so you can definitely check those out down below. Thank you guys so much for everything. I've been Stubbs121 with Gamers Initiative. We really value your time, and we really hope that you guys enjoyed this content. If you guys want to see more great content like this, please don't forget to hit that sub button, that like button, and that bell button to be notified of any new videos that are coming out. We thank you guys for your time. We thank you guys for just being here, supporting us through everything. We hope you guys are having an amazing and fantastic day. And like we always say, don't forget to be awesome, and don't forget to love, because hell, we could always use it. And I will be sure to catch you guys on the next video. Take care, guys. Bye now.